Like a line.
All right through.
Thank you, thank you.
You got the royal treatment here.
I
That's the
I
chair.
think this
And you get one-
is
you get one
screening
piece of
for
paper,
the mechanical unit.
Oh, for outside.
Fabulous.
Right.
Sunny day.
Good for you. Excellent.
I'm gonna open my routine right now.
All right.
We get section cars right here. So if you needed to walk it, it's right there.
What's this, guys?
Yeah.
Is this not on the state?
No, dinner is in.
Sound of it? I don't know what it goes to.
It was just a reference to the style of
See,
radio.
that's why I will
Mr.
be
Bianchi.
asked if I disclose, and like, I will let you know that I have 3 teens at home.
That's for Boughton.
I'm 14, 15, 16.
Is that for Boughton?
This is the exact window or what they're thinking, what it looks like?
The
The exact window or what it looks like?
Well,
Exactly.
except one
I
of those
think
is
one of those
cement,
windows
one
is
is
the style,
wood,
he
one's
was
track.
taking them out of the barn and
None
putting
of
them
them
out
need
as far as
verbal.
my understanding was.
Oh, how well can I?
Sir.
It's a
Great school district there, they gotta be able to read.
Yeah. They said he will be a few minutes late, he called me and was stuck in traffic.
Okay.
So,
Yes, it is.
You want dinner, read.
Yeah. Reservations are another alternative.
I have a job. That one. So I can eat them the one that mom made, considering this could go to like 30.
Good job. You're not working here, bro.
Oh, okay. Bless, like that. Okay, great.
Start.
All right. Jessie's ready to go. Hi, everyone. Happy spring. Good afternoon.
It's happy
five-
summer
Is it? Yeah, it feels like summer, doesn't it?
today.
So today is Monday, April 25th, 5:30. I would like to make a motion to open the Historic Preservation Board meeting for today. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call?
Member Evans?
Yes.
Member Morrow?
Yes,
Member Searle?
Yes,
Member Pollock?
Yes.
Chairperson Cole?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. All right, I'd like to ask any of my board members if you have to recuse yourself for any of the applications here tonight.
I do not.
Ginny, Ken,
nope.
Kendra.
No, but I will announce to the board, as I was saying, I have 3 teenagers at home alone making dinner right now, so if my phone goes off, you can witness that it's 3 teenagers, and I just want to apologize in advance in case there's an emergency at home.
All right. thank you.
Fire department on alert.
Perhaps.
You'll hear the fire whistle.
Oh, gosh, don't tell, I'm just getting nervous
Without any
enough.
problems, so.
One's at home asleep, one's not home, and the other's at track practice, so eventually it'll all come
All
together.
right.
But
Well,
if I've
thanks
said
for
it, it
that.
won't happen, but this way I won't panic.
Thanks for sharing. Jeff Pollock, any problems with any of the applications?
No.
Okay. All right.
44 Lincoln Avenue is pulling their application, or their
Pardon?
44 Lincoln is not.
They are off the agenda.
Oh.
Today, wanted to be off the agenda.
Was there a reason?
Pardon?
Was there a reason for that?
Didn't say, she said change the plans.
Oh, okay. So just for further, if they pursue this again, Steve, can you please just make sure that they have materials stated? I know that they sent a picture, but it needs to be, materials need to be stated with dimensions and height and everything in there. Just make sure, they say wood, whatever, it's just got to be stated, okay?
Whatever information is listed as required documentation, I will not accept an application that is complete. If there are items that are listed in writing on the application form that have not been provided.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, well, that kind of shortens
No,
things, that shortens things up. a
That
bit.
helps things out for Kendra.
There you go. Okay, so do we have 6 Rand Place, the applicant?
Well, he's going to, it might be him right now.
That might be him.
Yeah.
You want to come around this way, sir? You might be looking for us. All right. Hi there. Jerome?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
Jerome, yeah, you can pull a chair right up to the board. We're going to talk about your application here today. All right.
Sorry.
Oh, that's all right. It's perfect timing. You got in just in time, so it all worked out. All right. All right, so I'm just going to take this. So tell us what you're thinking of doing.
We have 2 windows on the south side of the house. There are our casement windows that were put on, apparently when the addition was put on back in '69, I think. We figured out. We just moved in the house. We just bought the house last year. So we wanted to get something more in the style of what is on the house, which are double hung windows. So we'd like to replace those 2 casement windows.
Okay. So the,
Not only the style, but the windows are just cheap. They don't really open. There's no screens in them, or, it's just,
Those old casements are terrible.
I mean, you can get good ones, and you can get.
and plus you'll get so much more light with the proposed windows that you're
That's
talking
right.
about, which will be
Yeah.
nice.
But it'll look better, I think.
It
Yeah.
matches the style.
Yeah. So the window above, if you see that picture,
Yeah.
is that the exact replica of the windows that you're
It's
proposing?
not the exact replica. It's not the exact size, but it's real close. The width is almost exactly, but they're a little longer.
A little longer.
Yeah,
And the reason is, we lost our house to a
2-inch.
fire last year out of Bloomfield. And so, but there were some windows that I had just purchased 4 windows. They were $600-700 from Morris Ashen Door, and they're wood double hung windows, they're high energy performance glass, all that. And fortunately, those weren't damaged. So they were on the location of the house where I could actually use them. So we pulled out a couple. We had a men and I got build a barn so we could salvage some of the things out of the house. So we used a couple in the barn, and that's what the picture is.
Okay, so that's what the picture is. All
Yeah,
right.
but there's still a couple more in the house that we're going to use the
I
same.
thought I was losing it.
Is that the, like,
I got it.
Where is it? I just had
like the
it.
block
This one
barn?
right here.
Right.
This barn?
So then you took the windows from,
We took the windows from our house. I can show you pictures of the house.
that were not damaged?
We took the window, a couple windows, a few windows from the house that were not damaged, and put them on the barn. But we have a couple more windows. We have about 4 more windows that are okay, are good.
From the house,
Yeah.
okay. And they're all wood windows?
Excuse me?
The windows are all wood windows?
Yeah, they're Anderson, yeah. They're not even the ones that fold out. They just,
Yeah, good.
I really appreciated the drawings so that we could see the old
Yeah, these
window and
were
the
very
new
clear.
window. Yes,
Thank you.
thank
Well
you.
done.
This is very straightforward and I appreciate it. So, and it does, in my opinion, make it,
Yeah.
it improves the architecture.
it is.
Yeah, see, I love it. See, I love that. It just helps me so much, so thank you. So as far as to scale, these windows are drawn to scale?
Yes.
What is the scale? How can you say they're drawn to scale when there's not a scale on the photograph?
Go ahead, Jenny.
This is-
I know.
Your drawing is very helpful, I agree, but because we're discussing scale, I'm going to point out that these drawings are not actually to scale.
Mhm.
They're an approximation. I have 2 questions.
Sure.
The windows to the immediate left in this photograph, you've measured them at 64 inches, is that correct?
If that's what they say there, yeah.
Okay. And it is your intent that the head of the new windows will be at the same location as the head of the existing windows you are replacing, is that correct? Or are you raising
Correct.
the window head?
The head, did you say?
The head.
The top of the
Yes.
window.
Are you raising the window head, or are you keeping that?
No,
Okay.
yeah, we
Okay.
tend to keep it at the same level.
You're not showing any sort of casing on these windows at all?
Right, the outside, yeah, my intention is to
Trim on
case
the
them,
outside.
to trim them just the same way as
Okay,
what is on the
okay,
house.
that's an important part.
I know,
for us to
I'm
know.
sure it is, yeah.
So Jenny, I'm just looking at this drawing right here. He's got 22 here on this picture.
Yeah, but you're not, You're not all the way to the end. We can have a discussion
Okay.
about scale drawings another time, and I can
Okay.
bring in some scale drawings so that everyone on the board can see and understand what an actual scale drawing is.
All right, but that's helpful, right?
It is-
If this would be here on this drawing, that
Well,
would be
that's-
helpful?
No, not
really.
to me.
Okay.
What's more important to me is that
It's the scale, exactly.
whatever these dimensions actually are, the windows are at the same scale. And a photograph is typically not.
So that brings a question right here.
scale drawing.
So I'm looking at this picture right here. So the bottom of this window to the ledge of the house, will it be even here?
They're 2 inches longer.
They're gonna be a little- the windows-
So it's not gonna be-
The windows are gonna be a little longer,
little bit
but
longer,
the width
okay.
is almost, I mean, you would have, I don't think you would know by looking
Yeah.
at it that the width was any different, but
Well, it's a new, it's addition, so I'm not so concerned about it because it's an addition. So technically,
yeah,
it doesn't have to
actually,
be
I'm
exact,
sure
but
you wouldn't have even allowed those casement windows now, they, probably back then.
The windows also immediately to the left are, it's a ribbon of windows with two narrower windows with a large scale mullion in between, and then a wider window. So the width of the window is not, the width of the proposed windows being different is not a concern for me, because the most immediate adjacent windows are none of those dimensions. And it's my
So
opinion
it's
that this slightly longer window, I think similarly, they're adjacent, but they're not immediately next to each other. I
Correct.
think it would be a minimal, particularly because it's on a back section of the house.
Yeah, and a new
And the
section.
single awning window is 36 inches wide. So,
Yeah.
technically, kind of, if you're looking at scale, it's the same, you're not gonna increase the width on the window, you're gonna
Mhm.
close the double one.
Yes,
Yep,
The awning window is 36 inches wide.
okay.
I have no problem with the concept, nor the windows presented.
And then the other thing
I'm concerned about is matching the trim.
And then the other thing, is there anything stated with materials in our packet? I know that you said they were wood, but do we
Yes,
have
2 windows,
stated?
double hung wood sash.
Wood sash, okay. Great,
Right on the application, thank you.
all right, thank you.
Yeah.
Not yet. Almost.
I'm sorry, my.
That's
I
okay.
didn't hear you said that, sorry.
So Ken, do you have any questions at all or comments for the applicant?
No, I don't. Is your house the one with the stone barn behind it?
The what?
The stone or the like block barn?
Behind it?
God, I wish I had that barn.
Is that next door?
We're the third house in the corner.
Okay.
The second house in the corner, which is Kim and Bruce's, they have a beautiful barn.
Yeah.
Got it.
We have this one barn, cinder block.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, that's a good.
Anything else
Here
about the
it's-
application?
No,
Okay, Kendra?
No,
Great job. No problem.
Jenny, anything more?
No.
Okay. Would anybody like to, Make a proposal?
Sorry. Your existing windows have muntins, dividers in the upper sash, and you're showing muntins in the upper sash. What are those muntins and how are they applied?
It's, I believe, an exterior muntin that they just mount. I didn't have them on the house there, but they can be purchased,
Right.
and applied.
Ordinarily, our guidelines would prefer to see muntins inside out, if they're not true divided light, inside outside with a spacer in between so that you don't see through the glass. In this case, he already has the windows. Again, it's at the rear of the house.
on the addition.
I'm willing to let that,
okay,
I'm willing to let that go on this application. But I think it's important to bring it up
okay.
in our record that we're discussing muntins and windows.
All right. Does anybody feel comfortable making a motion?
I'll make a motion.
This is the only other thing that we need to.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm, oh, sorry.
It's available.
And whatever the date is today, I
Monday,
made a
April
motion
25th.
to approve with conditions the application for window replacement made by Mr. Vianna. Okay.
That's it the same way it's spelled, except for its first silent A.
At 6 Rand Place, this approval is subject to the following conditions: that casing be provided on all 4 sides of both windows to match exactly the casings on the immediately adjacent ribbon window to the, this is south, but they're west maybe? Never mind. The windows immediately adjacent as seen in the photographs provided with the application.
They're facing south, but is that what you meant?
No. Are these windows east or west of these?
Oh, those are, west.
West. That was what I thought.
I second?
What about the mounting?
No, they're as is.
Yeah, we were letting that.
Yes, he is indicating that muntins will be provided in the windows.
Yeah.
Applied to the exterior only.
Okay, so do we have roll call?
Yes. Member Pollock,
Yes.
Member Searle,
Yes.
Member Morrow,
Yes?
Member Evans,
Yes?
Chairperson Cole,
Yes.
motion passes.
Great, now you're set.
Thank you.
Thank you, good luck.
Thanks very much.
Good luck, that'll look really nice.
Thank you.
All right, well, make sure you come and see me for that.
Excuse me?
You gotta come see me for a minute.
Okay.
Whoever's gonna do the work.
Okay.
Are you gonna do it or you
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, no
I
problem.
have a set item.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so moving on, 26 Fountain Ave, the applicant here. Hi,
Hi.
you can pull a chair up if you'd like.
Sounds neat.
Thank you. I know, I don't know where the chair went either, but
He moved.
I'll leave the
Oh,
chair
okay.
here when I get up.
perfect, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, so it looks like you are putting an exterior heating and cooling unit, and then everybody got this after the fact
Yeah.
to kind of talk, or to screen the unit, right? This is what you're going to use to screen.
Yes.
Are you going to keep it natural? Are you going to paint it? Would you?
We're going to keep it natural. In page 3 of the supporting documents, underneath the back porch, there is
Oh, yeah.
wood. That's what it's going to look like. So it
Okay.
will match the existing wood that's on the house, natural as it is.
So the lattice in the bottom of the house is a diagonal, and you've got a square lattice here.
Yes, it'll actually be diagonal like the one in the
So it'll
bottom.
be diagonal.
Yes.
So it won't be exactly that, it'll just be diagonal. Okay.
And then once the unit is put in place, we will build it to scale. In the documents, I also submitted a picture on page 3, standing in the driveway, looking down the driveway. You can't see the back porch corner, so the intention is that you won't even really be able to see the unit from the road. That's why we wanted to put it behind the house.
Great, well, thank you for that. As far as you're right, you probably won't be able to see it from the road, but when people are walking to the side, so that's kind of why you've got to come to us, because it is visual from public view, but I see the two.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. Yeah, it's not right out there, yeah. So that's the reason why you're coming before us tonight, because you can see a bit of it.
Yes.
It's, okay, so thank you, though.
Yes, no worries.
Because the porch is recessed from the side of the house, right? That's where you're going to
Right.
put it.
Right, kind
Yeah.
of tucked back behind them.
I think page 2 shows that a little bit.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, it does really
dimensions
well.
there were on page 1 of the unit. Page 1 is just what the unit looks like. But Joe Maggio from Taylor measured that space and said that it would fit perfectly behind that space, so you wouldn't be able to see it.
Great.
And practically, it's the only place to put the unit in the house to be able to act, decent access for the work.
Well, it's a good spot, so we're lucky, well said.
So speaking of access, having spent a little time in this business myself, is there an easy way? Does this just lift straight off, or how is it attached to the base?
It is attached. So on page 1 of the submission is a picture of it that's installed behind. It's just attached to the house. So they put in a concrete, they put in a pad.
Yeah.
And then this unit is screwed into the pad. It's like a stand, a metal stand, and then the unit itself just sits on that stand. So if anything were ever to happen to the unit.
And this box just goes on top of it.
And then this box
Yeah.
just
Oh,
sits
just
over top of
yeah.
it. Oh, so the
So
wooden
it's not
box, yeah,
attached.
the wooden
The wooden
box
box.
would not be attached.
Yeah.
It would just be so that you could easily remove it. In fact, I don't think there would be a back side to it. It would just
Yeah.
snap to hit right up.
Bentings and
the,
forks, yeah,
the siding of the house so that you could just pull it off easily.
they'll appreciate it. Thank you.
And then again, Steve, thank you for getting this to us. We just want to make sure that even though it looks like it's wood, we need to document that it's wood. And then the lattice would have been diagonal, but we'll make that addition when we make our motion.
I guess I would suggest, and this may depend on how you select colors and apply them the next time you paint your house, but I think it would be disguised even more if the cover was painted the same color as the house. But I noticed your foundation is not the same color as your house, so it doesn't make sense to do that now. But perhaps when you're painting next time, if the foundation is going to be the same color as the house, if you painted the cover, it would disappear even more.
I think they're just saying
Even more
because
thoroughly.
that's brown.
Right,
They were
no,
confusing.
I get that, but that wood should be painted as well,
Yeah.
because raw wood doesn't last very long in this climate.
Yeah, especially underneath the house.
I think it's pressure treated wood. I will say this, I don't know if any of you remember me, but I don't remember you. This will be my 3rd time in front of the board. I do have a submission to paint my house, and the colors have been submitted and approved. It will just be another shade, it'll be almost the same
We don't-
shade.
Yeah,
We don't,
well, she was, yeah, you'd already asked and you don't,
we have.
it's all cleared, yeah.
And
So
I-
if the, because the house will be green, we're hoping the foundation would be black, tone black that we had submitted. Would you like us to paint it black?
No, excuse me. My point was, if the foundation and the house were going to be the same color, if you painted the screen, the wooden screen you're putting around it, the screen in the unit would disappear even more so. But if you're not painting the house and the foundation the same size, it makes sense to leave it wood, but you should, I would just suggest that you use, even if it's pressure treated wood, that you apply some sort of sealer or finish on it, because even I suspect you would like the screen to last as long as the unit.
Yes.
And even pressure treated wood will rot in this climate.
Yes, okay.
And just to clarify, it's just a suggestion.
Yes,
You don't,
absolutely, just a
yeah,
suggestion.
you don't have to paint,
Not our purpose.
paint it yet. It's just something that Ginny is
I just thought
passionate
it
about
might.
and it would help, it'd be
No, I just
helpful.
thought it would help it
Yeah.
proceed.
Yeah,
Yes.
but just so you know, just to
But
clarify.
I've got no problem with it being wood color.
All right. Ken, any questions or,
Yeah, I have a question for Jenny. Jenny, would you paint both sides of the wood?
sorry, for protection reasons?
Yes,
There you
yes, I would.
Okay.
go. Mhm.
Would you?
I would now.
Kendra?
Look at the backside of stuff, and it's,
No, ready to call the.
Okay. Jeff, you're good, okay. I have no questions either. Would anybody like to make a motion? I've got my cheat sheet. Look, I got my cheat sheet. It's really easy. This is the only thing I want you to make sure you add.
Okay. Meeting the HPB on April 25th.
Yeah,
25th. 2022, the following motion was made to approve the
Nice.
air conditioning cover at the residence on 26 Fountain Avenue, owned by Brianna O'Shea. That kind of wraps it up, as indicated in the plan submitted.
So, yeah, so there's a section there, there's 3 little options there, submitted as,
Submitted as,
but we're going to do the one that says with the additions.
yeah, it's additions, yeah.
So then just read the additions, see on the next page, I wrote them down. We're just going to make, yeah, there, right there. So we're doing the diagonal.
Diagonal to match the lower lattice all wood. Okay.
And all wood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all wood.
Okay, I second?
This is approving both the unit and the cover.
Yes. Thanks, Jeff. I second?
Okay, roll call. Member Evans?
Yes.
Member Morrow?
Yes.
Member Searle?
Yes.
Member Pollak?
Yes.
Chairperson Coe?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Great.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Enjoy that AC.
All right, so we have our next applicant, 8 Courtney Circle, wood fence.
Hello.
Hi.
Would you like
We'll have 2 chairs. Awesome. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So you are at Courtney Circle, and you're proposing to put a wood fence
Correct.
in your yard. And my understanding was you're replacing
Chain link.
chain link. Exactly where it is?
A little bit inside just to make it work. The neighbors, so either side of the house, the chain link is shared by the other neighbor.
Yeah.
Everyone has dogs in the 3 properties.
Yeah.
So to make ours work, it has to be a little bit inside so that they can keep that piece of fence.
So they're going to keep their chain link on their side, and you put the wood, okay. All right. And I'm, in the application, it does say materials, and does it have the height of the fence in there?
It's 6 feet and it's wood.
And I know that I saw a picture of style.
It's right here. Do you have a dimension for each individual board? They're 1 by 6, 1 by,
The picture on the materials picture.
this one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the materials, so I don't
but I
know.
know it's 6 feet high, because
Yeah.
you've said that.
Yeah.
But I'm asking about the dimension of each of the individual vertical pieces that will be applied.
I believe they're 4, I think they're 4 or 6 inches.
4 inches,
I think
maybe?
there's 4-inch planks.
They're like the standard
Yeah.
size that everyone has.
Well, I'm trying to decide if they look like nominal 4 or nominal 6. 4 is pretty thin.
Yeah, you
To
can
me,
see
it looks like
it.
they're
Visually-
6, which would be 5.5 for Jim. When
Well,
I go over
I
there.
said nominal.
Yeah,
Okay, well, yeah, whatever, you know the board-on-board fences that are?
Yes, they're
that's what they are.
typically 6 inches, and all I'm getting at is that what you are proposing?
Yes,
Okay,
6-inch plank,
okay.
yes,
Because it was,
okay.
the
I didn't put that.
height is on there, but the width of the board is not.
understood.
So in a very clumsy fashion, I'm sorry,
Okay,
just trying to verify that what I believe you are proposing is in fact correct, that my
I
understanding is
think,
correct.
yes, that's
Okay.
correct.
so again, just as a message to the board, so on the materials sheet, I've just documented 6 foot high, so it's documented in writing, and 6-inch plank, so that when we do a proposal, we just put that in the motion, please. All right, so Ken, any questions?
Nope.
No? Okay, Kendra?
No?
Beth Pollock?
And no,
And Ginny, anything else?
No, thank you for having dogs, thank you for putting in a wood fence instead of more
Yeah,
chain link.
it's hopefully gonna be a big upgrade.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, that way, I have dogs, I have big dogs. And I have dogs across our back lot line, and they have bark fests.
Oh, they look
It's a lot better if they cannot see each other. you know?
Yes.
We have a problem.
Yes.
Yes, we're having that right now.
Yes.
And the other dog can jump over there.
We have one very
Oh.
athletic dog.
Oh,
That's why the 6 feet.
yours or the other dog? Oh, yours,
We
okay.
have 2 of
That's
them.
why we had to go 6 feet.
What kind of dog?
Do you think
They're mutts.
They're rescued.
Yeah, great.
You think they'll go over 6, jump over 6?
I think if he was real scared, he might be able to,
I don't think he's gone.
but I don't think he's going to.
I think the
He's still
visual
have to.
blockage is going to make it even more
I
of
think
a,
it's just gonna
yes, of a
lower-
roadblock.
lower
Yeah,
pressure.
yeah, absolutely. He's not going to see as much. And, would anybody like to make a proposal? I've got my cheat sheets right here. It's really easy.
Okay, great. Okay. Let me
Here's
see.
the, oh, okay. Or you want their names? Just read it right from there. We'll start with the date.
Right, maybe I'll put my glasses on here. Sarah?
Sarah and John.
Okay, Sarah and John, Sir Mart?
That's correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Came before the HPB on April 25th, 2022, and I'll make a motion that the HPB approve as submitted.
Let's do it, approve with conditions, so we could add this.
Okay, approve with conditions, application for a fence made by the
Sermont?
Sermont, for the property located at
8 Courtney Circle.
8 Courtney Circle. Approval of this application is subject to the following conditions, that the fence be, that it's wood, I think is proposed, that it's 6 feet high and that it have 6-inch planks. Findings of fact,
No, I think we're all right with that.
okay,
So
so,
you're looking for a second?
all right, so I'm making a motion that we pass it, I'm looking for a
I
second.
second it.
Jeff Ballard will second.
Okay. Member Evans?
Yes.
Member Pollak?
Yes.
Member Searle?
Yes,
Member Mara?
Yes,
Chairperson Coe?
Yes.
All right, motion passes.
Great. Good luck, guys.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
I
Thanks.
think it looks nice.
We'll leave this one.
Lisa, if you want to take information only before me, it's fine.
Okay. Do you want me to?
Yeah.
All right.
I want him to contact
Is,
you.
Okay, remember the public hearing.
We'll let him know.
is anyone coming for this?
Yeah, that's what she, so Dorothea said if we want to do information only before she does her presentation, she's all right with that.
Oh, no. Are you doing the presentation for the message boards? For the
Yes.
wildlife? I'm asking about the
We
wildlife.
could do that, we could do that, construction information only, then this way these guys can go.
Oh, no, that's fine with me. What I'm asking is, are we expecting someone?
No, that's just for me, that's for me to just give you information.
Okay,
Yeah, that was supposed to actually be under member items, but that's all right.
okay.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay, no problem. I was going to tell you later. Okay, so we'll do our information only for 9 Austin Park for window replacement.
I'm letting,
Yeah,
I'm
we're,
gonna let the resident go before us. I mean, I have to be here I either can't way. believe how fast this is going. I had something at 7, I thought we were gonna hit.
see?
It says get you feeding them. So, my husband and I bought the house at 9 Austin Park in the fall.
Welcome. And you what?
Love living in the village.
Oh,
We lived
good.
in town forever, but we live in the village now. But the house just needs all new windows. I mean, some don't close, literally don't close. Some don't open. Lots of the channels that was called are warped and everything. So rather than doing piecemeal, we just want to do them all, which I think ends up being 20 windows plus 2 hopper windows in the basement. We are looking at doing fiberglass Infinity by Marvin, Ultratex or something, Ultrex windows, and they will be the exact same opening, same color as the existing windows. The only thing that will be different, and I don't think if anything that's in the back of the house is not part of your purview, right? So
As long as it can't be seen by anybody,
Can't be-
like anybody who's walking down. Can people see it on the other side of the street, like
Well,
back
we don't even have
up?
anybody behind
Okay.
us.
How about the canal?
We don't face the canal, but we're looking to replace a picture window that's in the back with a door because we need another means of egress. It's just one door, that was. So all the windows will be the same dimensions. They will all be, if they're a casement, they will be casement. If they're double hung, they will be double hung. The only thing we are looking to do is maybe change the configuration. They are right now 8/8 in the front, 8/6 in the sides, and 1/1 in the back. And we would like some uniformity, standardization. So I think we're looking at, I think the windows they have are 6/1 or 6/6. And we'd like to have the 6/1 to have more view, matches what's already existing on the sides. And then the thing that's probably going to be a snag for you guys is that we are looking at grids just inside the windows, as there are other places in the village that have that kind of window configuration.
So can you tell me what year your house is?
1958. Has aluminum siding, so there's not a lot of original to it, except for the windows.
And the windows right now are wood?
The windows right now are, well, they're, in the front, they're wood. There are some replacement ones already in the back. I think there might even be some replacement ones on the side.
That are not wood, you're saying?
That are not wood. So it's kind of a mishmash of windows. So we really are looking to standardize the windows in our house, never mind the efficiency and all that stuff. And so we're looking to put a very large investment into our house that will enhance the value of our house and our house's value to the village.
Did all of you receive the email with Blake's evaluation?
Yes.
I didn't.
Yeah.
When was that?
I sent it to everybody.
Recently? Like how?
Yeah,
When? Today?
I just got it, yeah.
Oh, see, I haven't looked.
But we just got
Yeah, I haven't looked.
It would be,
I was working on it.
I mean, if you want me to print it out, I probably could, or I could make copies of that for everybody.
There are 4 houses side by side that are virtually identical in our park. They were all built at the same time. And I think our neighbors just had Blake Held come and evaluate their.
So that was, I got a report for 7.
Pardon?
I have a report for 7.
7 window
Ours is
replacement?
virtually the same.
There was
Yeah, I
a-
think he visited their house 2 days before.
I think he said they were the same, though.
The same,
The outcome
right.
was the
He
same.
sent an email that said the windows on the first or second house, so to speak, were the same as the one
Yeah.
on that
Yeah.
report.
Well, I would have, where are the windows that are, you said that some are 8/8, some are,
The 8/8 are in the front.
That's not her exact house. I think that's the neighbor's house. Is that right? On
If
this-
that says 7, that's not my house.
yes, okay.
So if
Then I
they
don't-
were
then
just
I-
using this as an
then I don't wanna
example.
look at that.
Yeah.
I don't want to look at that picture. I would want to go and look at the house to see.
Figured you would, yeah.
But it's not unusual necessarily for a house to have different window configurations. So if there's an apparent reason or a logical, historical,
Significant.
significance of the number of grids, that would be an issue for me.
Okay, I think what Mr. Held told us is he thought that when they built it, they put their money in the front, and that they didn't spend the money on the side, and that's why they're 8/1 on the sides and 8/8.
Sounds typical.
Well, that's,
I did put that, I don't know if that
Oh,
helps you at all.
yeah, it does, but I didn't see
Steve, did
it.
he do a
I
brand
thought
new
I put them in
report?
the packet.
Pardon?
Yes, he
Did
did.
did he do an actual report for this property?
But we don't have it. This is the neighbor's report.
This is what?
This is the neighbor's report. This is not the report for her
No,
house.
I sent Blake Held's report for 6 Awesome Park today,
9.
Thank you.
9.
for 9
Well, I
Awesome.
have-
Well, this is what you guys have, right?
Regardless,
It's 7.
it is not at all unusual that the front facade is fancier. If you go out to the Genesee Country Village and Museum, all those really old houses, not all of them, several of those really old buildings have flush siding in the front, because that was the fancier side, and then it was normal clapboard around the back. And the same thing goes for windows, so that if there is a pattern to the window configuration, and it's possible that over time, since 1958, windows have been replaced or added or subtracted, whatever, and other windows went in that don't make sense in that location. But I would be concerned, I personally would be concerned, or might be concerned.
Okay, I have been walking my dog around the village, and I had taken notice of houses built at roughly the same time, that are roughly the same design, that have 6/1 windows. There are several.
I'm not saying that's not the case. What I'm saying is, you have a specific house.
Yes.
And we look at your specific house. We don't look at your house as one of many. We look at it as an individual item. So I appreciate that you're looking. I understand that it's common. I have 6/1 at my house, but I also have casements. So there are variations in window types, and it can reflect the use of the room that they're in, and a variety of things. I'm just expressing to you what my considerations will be when you come back with an application.
Okay, so, and you're going to come by and take a look at it?
We have to before we,
Yeah.
when we have
When
an
it
application.
happen, the thing, you will approve a change in divided, whatever it's called.
Well, that's the other thing I wanted to ask. So, yeah, tell us about the grip, the muntins.
The muntins we're actually looking at between the glass, and I know that that is not what you like. I just saved it on my phone, that it is preferred that they be on the inside, the middle, and the outside, but at a cost of $100 to $200 per window, when we were already looking to put an extremely significant investment on our house, which is on only 10 houses on the street, dead end, and for all the walking I've done in the village before I moved here, I never once went down that street. I'm hoping that you can see through approving the grills between glass.
So let me just give you a little kind of background about that comment that you made, because that is an issue for many, many people. They try to do things more economical, okay? We don't look at cost. We try to be cost blinded, even though I know it's not humanly possible, but our main concern is preservation. So the cost piece doesn't really sway our thoughts, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I know it does. And it does yours, and it does everybody who's doing the paying for the work, we understand.
Again, in walking my dog around the town, there are places, the Pittsford Fine Art Building, now it's not the same period of my house, but it is a part of the historical Pittsford, has grilled between glass windows. The Pittsford Florist has them. I believe, although that's on the upstairs of what used to be the Rosen Pediatric Dentistry office, has them. There's a house in 2 Green Hill, which was built in 1949, that has them.
Okay, can you just hold on one sec? We understand, and you are gonna.
I'm just trying to say there's
no, well, it could be for a lot of reasons. It could have been a different board at a time had missed it. It could have been somebody didn't apply for a permit. So we can't make decisions based on what's in the village, because we would be crazy. Because you're always gonna be able to find something that got by a board at one time over the last 200 years of this village. So again, we try to step back away from there, and we look at your house as an individual house. And we just try to do our best to be consistent with our board here into 2022. So we do appreciate that you are looking, and we understand where you're coming from. Trust me, we do. But I just want to let you know kind of where we try to start from. We try not to look at money. We try not to look at what other people have done, and we try really to look at your house as an individual house and try to do the best we can in preservation. Okay, so you know that. But we appreciate all of your work, trust me. And I'm glad that you're walking around the village, because it's a great place to walk with your dog. All right, so,
Lisa?
yes.
Point over here.
Yeah, I would just point out that Blake said it is my recommendation the replacement be allowed to the condition that the divided light pattern on the front be replicated. I mean, so the evaluation seems to point in that direction.
Yeah. I just think for as far as standardization, but that's my opinion, it would be nice to have standard uniform windows around the house. But that's not as big a thing as some other things, so.
And again, so you wouldn't know this, but when you're thinking of preservation, we're always kind of thinking about when the architect built this house, Why did he do that? Why did he put those? And Jenny gave you one concern, or one issue, is they used to try to make the front fancy. And that's a story, that's a preservation, a historical story, and we're very much trying to keep the stories of the village. So I understand you're like, well, why don't we just do it all the same, it will look better.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're coming from, so I hope that helps.
So I'm planning to be back next month with an application. I'm going to meet with Steve tomorrow. What are the things that you're telling me that I need to, other than what everybody else bringing?
On the application form, there's a list of required supporting documentation.
Okay. I have all that, although the thing that you were talking about.
She's saying, like, what are the recommendations for her?
Is the, to scale. So if we're replacing windows, the windows are the same size, do I need to show you a picture with everything drawn in, or to show you a picture
You
of
can
what the
show
dimensions are of the
a
house?
picture of the house, but now, I'm going to make a personal request, not to submit your contractor's enumeration of every single window. That's
Useless for us.
It's useless for us. We want to know on the front of the house, on the second story, the windows are X by Y.
Okay.
And then make a little notation,
Are X
exactly
and
the
Y.
same,
Yes, to
when you're
match
doing,
existing.
right, when you're doing something different, highlight that, this is a different opening, this is gonna be, so it just gives us a way that we can, decipher.
Okay. And again, stuff on the back that we may be changing that isn't going to be the same, I don't.
As long as Steve feels that it's not in public view.
I didn't know anything about that. It's like
Yeah.
replacing something with a door,
Yes.
so I have to go back.
Yeah, so Steve will take a look.
and make sure that it can't be seen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, you'd have to.
that's good.
But yeah, okay.
okay, well, thank you, good luck.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to the village, we're glad you're here. All right. Okay, so message boards, Dorothea.
Yes, this is something I've been trying to get on the village hall for, well.
You've been trying them? This is your thing? Oh, I thought
This is part of my thing, yeah, it's
Oh.
my thing. The problem is, we really have no clear place to provide messages to the public without taping it on the building or putting it on the board, on the doors, and we don't want to do that. That damages the material. We really need a message board. There we can put all the postings, meetings, anything, we're closed, whatever. It just makes perfect sense. It's a way of us getting to the public. So,
And the drawings I've scaled these. All right, so the size compared to the space is exact.
So I've got not concerns, but I've got some comments that I would like to share. My first one is, I totally understand what you're saying if this was 1985, but we're in a digital time now that if anybody really needs to know what's going on, they just go online. And to put more of a commercialized kind of something on the building that was originally a residence, I think that it just commercializes it for a reason that we really don't need. The front message board, people would have to literally come up the stairs to read it. So if they're going to come up the stairs, why can't they just come in, except for off hours? I understand that, but again, most people, if they're going to look for events, they're going to go on the website, because how often are you going to be changing this to kind of keep up with the website? It just seems like a lot of work overload.
well, it's actually a legal requirement. The village does need to post it legally on a message board for the public. That.
And the online is not.
Online
it doesn't
You'd be
count.
surprised, online doesn't count for nothing when it comes to New York State law.
For legal
interesting.
postings, yeah, I'll tell you, I've had to deal with this a lot in
Really?
places in the village where you can
Yes,
post it.
you
Yes, for
have to.
every election, for every notice of a public
Interesting.
meeting,
I didn't
it's
know that.
required.
Oh, okay, so there's a regulation
Here's
for
the
that.
thing, and I
Oh,
get
all
what
right,
you're
well, that
saying,
makes-
there is a
Oh,
requirement.
okay, I didn't know that.
This is something I've been fighting.
All right.
The bottom line here is also the removable. It's not a permanent addition.
Right.
And I realize this is a historic building, but it's here to serve the people.
Right.
And if they're coming up, and I've gotten this complaint, there's no way I know the building's closed, and I've seen people come up on a Saturday, and I see people sit on our porch all the time. We need to provide that information. for
Well,
the
being that
public.
it's a regulation, there's
It
nothing I
is.
can say
I
about that,
have
so
to
there you go.
follow
So
it.
there.
Go
My question, the board that's in the front,
Yes.
there's a little plaque above it.
That's for the dedicated and heart-safe seating.
If you're standing there, could the average person be able to read that? I mean, it had to be moved up.
It has to be moved up, but there's
There's a
thoughts
junction
of
box
moving
right
it to
underneath
another
it.
spot.
I was going to
We're
say,
find
is there
another
any way
spot.
that we could, maybe
we
move
can
it to
move
the
it.
side there,
Yeah,
so,
we can
okay,
move that.
okay.
That was
Yeah,
attached.
I moved it up in the
Sorry?
picture, Jeff, just to get it out of the way.
Okay.
I saw that,
This
yeah, I
one,
saw that,
And
yeah.
I think this, like,
just
both
because
entrances,
it's in an odd
there's
spot.
a
Right.
by that ramp,
We
we
want
want
to
one on the front.
Okay.
And the fact that it's tucked on the side of the porch, I think that makes sense.
So the actual message board, though, I have a picture here. Is this the actual message board, or is this just an example of other message boards
That's
that
one of
you've
the,
seen?
that's the board I think.
This is the one you want to buy?
Yeah.
Okay, and
that
the
would be-
color, the materials, the size,
Everything.
is it glass covered?
Yes.
Okay, and then this one right here is just an example, or is this an
But it would
actual?
be in black.
Same thing, the only difference is the color.
It would be black. They both would be black.
Well, this one's horizontal and this one's vertical.
But they're two different signs on two different faces of the
Okay,
building.
got it.
That one would be a bigger one, the other one's
Got
just
it.
a smaller.
So
Right there
the one on the
They have
side is,
black,
got it.
Picture in the black of that side one.
Okay,
Yeah, they both will be black.
okay.
Yes,
They have little key, access keys, so you can.
Yeah, they're locked.
they'll be locked.
How are they fastened to the building?
I'll leave that to see.
They'd help remodel again to a rock.
Okay, any fastener needs to go into a mortar joint only. Do not drill into the soft brick of this building.
No, it would go in more design.
Okay.
Thank you for providing this to the public.
Yeah.
As a member that, again, has not been able to
Yeah,
post notices as
we have
required,
problems
I am
with
glad to
the
see that this
causes
is
of
going
the
through.
doors needing the refinishing on top of everything. Someone taped messages to it and then ripped the paint off that they were closed. It's
Yeah, yeah.
surprising. There's times people just don't know we're closed, like Good Friday, even though we post on the website or do whatever.
Okay.
It's been a consistent issue.
Well, I came on Good Friday,
We were-
and you weren't here. And I said, why don't I know this?
All right, so does anybody want to make a motion for this? Anyone?
Sure.
Kendra, do you want this?
Sure.
There you go. Just, if you would just make sure for the, when you make the motion, just to have in the record that the applicator, to apply to the building, it's going to be in the, it's not going to be drilled into the brick, but it'll be in the mortar, please.
At the meeting of the HPB on April 25th, 2022, the following motion was made by the Village of Pittsford to install 2 message boards on the exterior of the building. It will be approved as written, so long with the following conditions. The approval of this application is subject to the following conditions, that when attached to the building, it will be applied to the mortar, not the brick. Do I have a second?
Second.
Before you vote, I know this board doesn't take public comment, but you do have trustee Lampier is online, and she has her hand raised, and she put in a question.
Okay.
Would the board like to hear this?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, there is a legal posting board in the village hall. Yes, trustee Lampier is correct. We have a message board in the hall, but does not serve the purpose when the building is closed. So that's part of the concern. Jessica has the board approve the application. The village board discussed this back in budget for this budget year, and it was agreed to fund the project.
So was it voted on?
They,
And approved?
yes, when they approved the budget, and we talked
the
about it
funding.
at the budget meeting,
funding.
they agreed to the message board. They agreed to one. Yep, I'm hoping to get the second one in this coming budget year. So we'll
So
put
then the
up-
other, second one's got to be approved, yeah, in order
It'll
for it
have
to
to be
go.
approved. The one for the front is approved, but if I'm going in front of you, I'm going to put
Do
you,
them both.
get them both done so I can move it along.
Yep.
Okay.
So my motion stands, and you seconded?
Second.
Okay.
Okay. Member Searle,
Yes.
member Pollock,
Yes.
member Morrow,
Yes,
member Evans.
Yes.
Chairperson Coe.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Dorothea, some of your hard work. All right, so we do have on our agenda 19 North Main Street, the Wadham's House, and this is not an application, this is just something that I wanted to kind of discuss with the board, to give them a little to give you guys a little background about this issue.
next door.
Yes, this is the fire district's house that has been sitting there for a long time. The reason this came up, I mean, it's come up a lot in my mind. When I first moved to the village and walked around and was looking for a house, I saw this house and I'm like, oh my gosh, look at this. This is a great reno house. I want to buy it. And then I looked into the fact that it was owned and it was stuck and there was nothing that was going to happen with that as far as buying that. So then, time went on and I made some mention to Mayor Corby about the building, and everybody's given me a different story, and I think it's been sitting there for so long, and, different people have been in office different times, so I think that the story is all over the place. So the Historic Pittsford organization asked me if I'd sit in on their board meeting, because they have significant concerns about that home, just sitting there basically being boarded up for a long period of time, and we're concerned that it was still getting dilapidated and could get to the point where it could possibly have to come down because it has not been able to withstand being uninhabited. So together, we decided that I would write a formal letter to the trustees to kind of ask them if they would reopen this case and give not only the HPB, but also the Historic Pittsford, as well as residents in our village, the information as to what is happening with this house, why is it standing here, why can this house stand here in this shape where if I owned my house, it could never stand there for over 12 years like that. And that's exactly what I did. So I think I sent everybody a copy of the letter. You didn't get it? Did you guys do that? Or email, yeah? So you didn't get it yet?
No.
Okay, I'll have to send it to you. It was basically just asking the trustees if they would revisit this and give us some information as to where it stands, what the history is, how it can stand there untouched.
I can give you some information on this because I was chair of the board when the fire department bought this house. The fire department is...
It's a fire district, and they clarified that.
The fire district is an independent local government. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Jeff, is that still, does that remain the case?
Yeah, as far as I know, they're independent
Yes.
local government.
So other local governments, like the town of Pittsford and the village of Pittsford, have no authority over the fire district.
It depends. There's a balancing test.
So there's a balancing test, and that's what Jeff had commented.
Okay. Well, at the time, John Osborne did not inform me of the balancing.
No, it probably didn't happen. I don't know when it
part of
happened.
it.
I think it was a 1985 case.
Yes. So,
Hold on one second. Jess, can you just tell us what the balancing test is?
I can't.
You can't.
There's 13 factors. I do not remember them off the top of my head.
All right.
It's an interface between, basically, it's an interface between government use and private use and what it's being put to.
So
That's
that's
just
an
a
evaluation
broad-
process that can determine what structures, okay, yeah, all right.
So at that time, the village government and the fire district fire chief and their governing individuals discussed with the village that they bought the property. I think they bought it. I don't think it was deeded to them. I think they bought it. They had two interests in it at that time. One was to provide additional sleeping space and recreational space for firemen if in the future they had paid firemen who would be there, would do 24-hour shifts or whatever their shifts might be, so that there would be sleeping and recreation for firemen. The other reason that was expressed at that time was that the fire department was interested in having a second exit for their fire trucks because it's so difficult to get out onto Monroe Avenue. And that would entail demoing the house and fire. So at that point, the fire department agreed to, they didn't have a plan for it, they had the building, they agreed to maintain the building as they have. They put money into both the barn and the house. And I recognize that the windows are boarded up, but I believe that the treatment of the house as it stands now complies with the recommendations for mothballing historic structures, which is, there's a set of instructions, if you will, for a historic building that you can't afford to repair appropriately at the moment, but you stabilize it and protect it from deterioration while a decision is being made for its use. It's a preservation brief. The preservation briefs, if you just Google preservation briefs, you're going to come up with, I think they're in the neighborhood of 55 titles at this point.
So this kind of preserving, mothballing a
Yes.
structure, is that something that anyone can do? A resident can do this, or is this because the fire district has a
No,
different?
anybody could do that.
Anyone can do that?
Anyone can do that.
So on my house in the center of the village, I can take my windows out, board it up,
Well,
and
this
let it sit
doesn't-
there?
That would be something that you would have to do with the approval of the HPB.
So, but
But
hold
they
on,
don't require, that agency does not require approval.
that was your understanding back then, but
It may,
the balancing tests that we have to decide whether it does require approval or not. So that
Yes.
could change
Yes.
everything.
It-
So how do we go about doing the balancing test? Jeff?
We don't have an application.
So what are we talking about then?
Well, but how could it stand there if it could possibly be under our jurisdiction? Right now, the understanding is it's
It's
not.
not under our jurisdiction.
No, it's not, yeah. So
I mean,
what are we
it's-
talking about?
No, well, the balancing test,
Hold on. There would have to be an application for it to be under our jurisdiction. Right now, it's an enforcement question, which would probably lie with the Board of Trustees.
Which I'm sure they're aware of, and I'm sure the mayor is. I mean, I've talked to them about this. They are talking with the fire district. So I don't know what, I mean, I'm all for preservation. We support that, great. Let them do their job.
who?
This administration here,
Well,
and the people that are responsible in the fire district.
but the job hasn't been done in 12 years. So the people
why
are
don't we talk about it now?
asking, the people are asking why? Why is, what's being done? I mean,
I believe it's being done now.
what?
They're talking about it now. I'm not privy to what those discussions are.
Right, without an application, I don't think
There's a
that,
Why are we involved?
The only thing I can say
Because
is
we're a preservation board.
there
they've
is
always
a-
been a preservation.
there is a
board. Why is
different
it now that-
administration now than previous.
Okay,
The previous administration had a mode of dealing with it that is different from the current administration.
Okay.
The current administration has taken the ball, and she has contacted different organizations, is working on moving that forward. That's all I can say. This was that, and this is, I mean, it lays in my lap, kind of, but based on direction from the previous administration, it was not touched.
okay.
So now it is, and now it's being addressed, and I'd like to know why we're talking about it.
Why are you so
Why
upset?
are we talking?
Because
about
we're the preservation board.
it? We
Well,
have no interest in it as it stands now.
because we were asked by a village, or by an organization, a preservation
By who?
organization, Historic Pittsburgh. They wanted
Okay,
to
that's one
know.
group. Well, I'd like to know too.
Right, and,
So we'll find out.
right, and I'm sure a lot of people want to know.
Let the administration do their job then.
Well,
the question should, if people are asking the question, they need to ask the question of the fire district,
Exactly.
not the village. Because
Or direct it to me.
until and unless there's an application before the
Exactly.
board, and it meets the balancing test, that we get something to say, we have some say in the matter.
Exactly.
It's nothing.
It's an interesting conversation, but we don't have any purview at this point.
Yeah, that's
That's
right.
exactly right.
Jeff, anything?
No, I mean, we don't have jurisdiction.
We don't have jurisdiction because of the previous administration decided that we had to have
That
jurisdiction.
doesn't, that doesn't mean that we won't, it doesn't mean that it's not important. It is important, and we will. But
Hold
not
on.
right
The
now.
only way this board gets jurisdiction is if there's an application.
Yeah.
Then we apply our code to those applications. If anyone has a question about enforcement of our code, you talk to that guy, and he interfaces with the trustees, and that's how enforcement works.
So
Is
then,
there, oh, I'm sorry.
that's okay, go ahead.
I mean, because is there anything in our code that allows us to bring up something that we're upset about? I mean, it's the fire district, it's not.
I think,
The same as
again,
the town
we
building.
can clarify this. I think one of our obligations is to protect historic structures in our village. Is that true?
No,
It's not.
to protect structures and the district when you apply the code.
Exactly, when we apply.
Well, there are other,
Yeah, you have,
there are other opportunities for us to interact, and they're all listed clearly and individually in the zoning ordinance that created this board. And if you don't have a copy of that, you should, and you should read it, because it has information that might surprise you.
Ken, thoughts?
I just had a question. Didn't the fire district tear down the old barn and build the new one?
Here? No. That barn?
Yeah,
No. That's not a new barn.
it looks completely different than it
They've
used to.
taken good care of it.
They
It looks
may have
a lot different
replaced
than the house.
siding that was
Yeah.
deteriorating.
Okay,
That's not a new barn.
I'll take your word for it.
It's not a new barn.
I've been wrong all these years.
Okay, so the letter I sent basically will just express my concern as a resident and to relay information from Historic Pittsburgh that we're interested to know what's happening with that structure.
Well, the historic district should contact the mayor.
I'd just make one other comment. I looked really closely at that house 5 years ago or something, just from the outside
This house?
front, yeah,
Yeah.
right next door.
Mhm.
And my opinion was it's deteriorating. The stairs are deteriorating, and I guess I'd also ask, given the rise in humidity, in Pittsburgh, and heat in the summers, and this house is all boarded up. I'm just wondering if that's like a potential mold problem.
It may be, and there should be ventilation. One of the requirements that are stated in the preservation brief for mothballing historic buildings is that ventilation be provided, either mechanical or sometimes you can put a vent in the plywood that's covering the windows. You cover the windows to protect the windows, but then you can put a vent like that.
So if we as residents or as the board wanted to file a complaint, again, we direct people who are upset or organizations to our enforcement officer, and he is the one that would make certain that it was being complied with.
Okay. So Steve, do you have any idea if there's a ventilation in there?
We have made a request to do an inspection of the property.
Good,
Yeah, I want to go through the property.
yeah, good.
Okay.
So I'm still waiting, but, I will keep at it
Okay.
until I get a chance to go through it.
All right, sounds good.
I have
Member
member
item, okay?
Jeff Pollock sent around some information that he obtained regarding the metal roofing. I want to pass along to everybody, send that down to Jeff.
Is this like each take one, or no?
No, send it around, you'll get one.
Oh, get the packet?
Yes,
Comes in the
it's a
packet.
packet. I have included correspondence between myself and the State Historic Preservation Office official
Yeah, this, Jeff.
for this community. Jeff has one? Jeff
We're
has
sharing
one?
it.
No.
There you go, Jeff.
There's one for everybody, that's why I had one extra. My communication with the SHPO representative for this area, as well as the preservation brief on historic roofing, just to add to the information available for your understanding of
Thank you very
issues
much.
regarding roofing replacement. That's for the record, please.
Yes, thank you.
I think we still have minutes, do we not?
We do have minutes to approve.
Are there any more member items before we move on to the minutes? I do have a question for Steve. Steve, how are we doing with, or maybe Dorothy as well, or whoever, Kristen, how are we doing with the new application process? I know that we had, or you guys had worked on it, and
It's up on the website.
it's on the website, so it's being used, was it used this time around?
No.
There were, yes,
Okay, so next time-
applications that used it.
Oh, have that? Okay.
Because it doesn't look different to me in our packet.
Maybe not for this.
I
Okay,
think-
so next time around.
Yes,
Got it.
I think our fence people may have had the new one.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's good. Well, we'll see it coming around.
I found it kind of a mistake, we gotta add one more thing to it, because we really don't have an other, for like a heat pump or a generator
Right.
or air conditioners, things like that. We never go solar panels, we never, that doesn't fit into any of the categories.
Okay,
So there'll be one more.
one more time
Yeah.
around. Okay. All right, great, thanks. I did make a suggestion to Kristen. Did you get my email, Kristen, about the minutes?
Yes.
Okay, so my concern about the minutes was that the language written here on the St. Louis project was not really representative of the in-depth discussion that we had in regards to its being approved. So I just asked Kristen if she can go and listen to the minutes and just put a little bit more, because there was a lot of discussion about that, and I didn't see it represented in here. So,
Don't we have this material on video, Bill?
Yes.
yeah, that's right.
Say in the minutes that, further detailed information is on the, YouTube video XYZ.
I don't know, can we do that? I mean, but a lot of times people are going to pull up these minutes if they want, and it just doesn't seem like the discussion and everything that was talked about was really
I agree
represented.
that this is a pretty
Yeah, I mean, there was so much talked about
skimpy
here,
information about.
and it could be a concern in the future for other projects, and I just
I
think that,
disagree.
I could, I've roughed out some findings.
you left out some things,
So we can stick in that.
okay?
But I did not approve, I voted no on this, so I'm not going to write, findings of fact for supporting,
Right.
Add that in after?
supporting an application that I did not.
Yeah.
You can write findings whatever you want.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to do it, then I would suggest don't approve these minutes, and I'll get some findings ready and circulating.
I move that we
I mean,
table
they're
the
not gonna
minutes
be-
till next meeting.
What?
I move that we table the minutes until next meeting.
Are these
Is
yours?
it just this set? How many sets today?
It's just a set, I second.
I would just like to say that, at some future time, that video might not be available, so if you
That's why my
type it
concern
in
is.
here, it'd probably be.
That's right.
Right, the understanding with minutes is that they're not to be a transcript. They're just
Correct,
a
and I agree.
summary to summary, because coming from the World of Village Board, we go
Yeah.
on, and it's too much.
No,
We really want to keep it summary, so.
And I agree.
It should be a summary.
It should be a summary, and I'm not asking for word by word, but I just don't think that this summary was
I know.
right.
Okay, we can add Jeff's.
So I'm assuming you're most concerned about using landscaping as a screening for.
That needs to be mentioned, because this is going to come up
Yeah,
again.
so that's the one, I think
Okay.
that's fairly easy to do.
So who's going to decide what goes into these now? Are
Well,
you?
hold on, I mean, I'm jumping on your toes here, but,
That's fine. Actually, you're jumping on Kristen's toes.
no, I
Just
mean,
supporting character, but if
the
Jeff.
minutes
gives us-
are a mere reflection of what happened. They are not a justification for anything that happened at the meeting.
Correct.
Justification for what happens at meetings are the findings of fact.
Exactly.
So in those, and generally you guys try to put in some basic findings, but this is a little bit of a different kettle of fish. I too am worried about the screening issue. So I think it bears having a little more detailed findings.
It also was clearly stated that it was because of the approval by the planning board, so I
Right.
appreciate
No,
it.
that's fine. If Jeff wants to provide, if you're going to provide findings,
Well,
we'll.
only if they agree with it.
if the board agrees. We're
Well, I
okay with
motioned that we
it.
table, and it was seconded, so.
Yeah,
Okay,
Well, I agree that Jeff should write the findings of fact because this is a situation that could come up again. It's
right.
vegetative screening is an issue for us, and I think Jeff is the correct person to write findings of fact.
Okay.
So
Since
I
he's
will
off.
circulate them, but shoot at them freely.
That sounds like a fun challenge.
All right, are we going to vote on Kendra's motion to,
Yeah,
Yes, member Searle,
yes?
member Pollock,
Yes.
member Morrow,
What was the motion?
the table.
To table
table the minutes till
Oh,
next.
yes.
member Evans?
Yes.
Chairperson Coe?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Is there anything else that anybody would like to bring up to the board?
I make a motion to close the meeting.
Okay. I second.
Yes.
Member Pollock,
Yes.
member Searle,
Yes?
member Morrow,
Yes.
member Evans?
Yes.
Chairperson Coe?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, and thank you for that information on the roofing, Jenny. That's
Time of
So this-
opening.